Now is State Assemblyman Mark Berman. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Your bill, AB 2655, recently passed the Assembly, and it would make sure that the large online platforms, for a limited period at least, would restrict posting content that is maybe deceptive, that shows a fake image of a political candidate saying or do something that's totally false. How big of an impact do you think this is going to make on the distribution of deepfakes on the internet?
I think and I hope that it'll have a big impact. And one of the reasons for that is that we're going after, no, well, I shouldn't say we're going after, but we're putting more responsibility on the social media platforms themselves to regulate this content. I had a bill a couple of years ago that went after the content creator, but to be honest, that's whack-a-mole. And the content creator could be out of California, they could be far out of the United States. But I think the social media platforms, if they want to provide the forum and the platform for political discourse, they have a little bit of a responsibility to make sure that deceptive images and videos of candidates and elected officials don't undermine people's faith in our democracy. And that's the threat that these deepfakes pose.
Now, it's important to highlight, though, that this will only delay the distribution of these deepfakes, not ban them entirely. What's standing in the way of making these deceptive images illegal? Is it the First Amendment?
There are definitely complicated First Amendment issues. For state law, there's also federal preemption. There's something called Section 230 of the Federal Communications Decency Act that restricts what states can do to regulate social media companies. So yeah, it's a very complicated, kind of constantly evolving legal landscape as technology changes and as people's ability. What I like to say is that the First Amendment gives you the right to say what you want. It does not give you the right to put your words in my mouth. And that's what this technology can do. With very quickly and easily on your iPhone, you can create a video of me saying something totally different than something I would ever say. And so that's why I think that the regulatory landscape needs to evolve. I think the legal landscape needs to evolve as well.
Yeah, it's shocking to see what this technology is capable of. Now, this bill goes after online platforms like big social media sites. But what about going after the AI companies themselves and forcing them to eliminate this technology that facilitates these deep fakes?
It's definitely an interesting idea, and I've had colleagues who have looked into regulating the AI companies themselves. That also would likely have First Amendment challenges, and so I think we can go after them if they're creating certain already illegal content. I have a different bill around child sexual abuse material, for example. But I think in the political landscape, that would be pretty challenging and likely to face First Amendment problems. My hope is that these AI companies will behave ethically themselves, and hopefully we as a society put that pressure on them. And some of them are. Some of these AI companies are already saying, no, you can't use our technology to create a deep fake of Kamala Harris or of Donald Trump. And so, my hope is that they behave responsibly themselves, but there are obviously going to be instances where they don't. And that's where we'll have to look at, new bills and new laws.
A recent Pew Research poll shows that the majority of Americans are concerned that AI is going to have a huge impact on the presidential election. Are you yourself concerned that these deep fakes are so prolific that they could sway elections both locally and nationally?
Absolutely. And we've actually seen political deepfakes used in other countries already. We've seen political deepfakes created and used in the United States. And so they really, sadly, we're getting to a point where you can't trust what you see or what you hear. And so I think part of that is bills like mine, new laws like mine that put more responsibility on the social media companies. I also think part of it is just education and awareness and making sure that voters and citizens are more skeptical of what they're seeing, more skeptical of what they're hearing, and then hopefully they do their own research to determine the validity, the factual accuracy of some of these things. It's going to be a combination of both regulation and education of society to address the real threats that this technology creates.
All right, Assemblyman Mark Berman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.